Hey, sweetie, this is Michaela. Today I'll continue telling you the story of Mia's family. I'll keep updating it for you. Remember to check in every day, okay? Chapter 20. Race Against Time. Qin Dynasty's Military Mechanisms. Jack was completely immersed in decrypting the information on the engraved stone tablets and bronze artifacts. Sweat droplets gradually started to appear on his forehead. Those ancient characters were extremely obscure and difficult to understand. Even though he was familiar with Chinese, it still took a great deal of effort for him to figure out their meanings. Martha, on the side, was nervously flipping through the materials she had brought along, trying to find relevant clues from historical records to assist Jack. At this moment, the tremors of the Terracotta army became even more intense. Some of the Terracotta warriors had slowly raised their arms, and the weapons in their hands glinted coldly. Gryphon and the little Gryphon were circling in the air, emitting chirps from time to time, ready to jump into battle at any moment. Mia tightly held the divine artifact, the harp, and kept trying to summon animals with the sound of the harp. However, apart from the vibrating sound of the Terracotta army, there was no response. Suddenly, Jack's eyes lit up, and he exclaimed excitedly, "I think I got it." These characters mentioned that there was a military formation in the Qin Dynasty called the Goose Flying Formation. We need to trigger the mechanisms according to a specific position and sequence to solve the ongoing situation. Pointing at a pattern on the stone tablet, he continued, "The position represented by this pattern should be where we trigger the first mechanism." Martha looked in the direction Jack pointed and nodded in agreement. "You're right." And according to historical records, the Goose Flying Formation emphasized the attack and encirclement of the flanks. The triggering sequence of the mechanisms might be related to this. Jack quickly activated his X-ray eye to determine the exact location of the mechanism, and then walked carefully in that direction. With each step he took, he could feel the intense vibrations from the ground, as if it were a reminder of the urgency of the situation. When he reached the designated location, he found an ordinary-looking floor tile with some tiny patterns engraved on it. Jack took a deep breath and, according to the decoded information, pressed hard on the floor tile. In an instant, the tile sank and a hidden door slowly opened, revealing a bronze-made handle inside. Without hesitation, Jack grabbed the handle and turned it forcefully. Accompanied by a dull sound, a hole appeared under one of the Terracotta warriors not far away. However, this was just the first step. According to the hints from the engraved characters, several other mechanisms needed to be triggered in a specific order to completely break the Goose Flying Formation. He didn't have time to rest and immediately started looking for clues to the next mechanism. At the same time, Mia didn't give up either. She suddenly thought that since the underground palace might be isolated from the outside world, and it was difficult to summon ordinary animals, perhaps she could try to summon some mythical creatures. She closed her eyes, concentrated all her energy, and integrated her imagination of mythical creatures into the sound of the harp. Mysterious notes wafted through the palace again, and this time, the sound of the harp seemed to contain more powerful energy. As the sound of the harp rang out, a faint glow gradually appeared in the corner of the palace. The illusory image of a unicorn, with a live body and an aura of auspiciousness, slowly emerged. The illusory unicorn let out a long howl towards the sky, and its sound resounded through the palace like a great bell. The originally vibrating Terracotta warriors seemed to be deterred by some powerful force, and their movements became sluggish. Seeing the appearance of the unicorn's illusory image, Jack was greatly inspired and became even more focused on finding the remaining mechanisms. Gryphon and the little Gryphon flew to the side of the unicorn's illusory image and circled in the air with it, forming a powerful deterrent force. But the good situation didn't last long. As the Terracotta warriors gradually got used to the deterrence of the unicorn's illusory image, they started to move faster again. Some of the Terracotta warriors even slowly approached Jack's direction, their weapons raised high, ready to launch an attack at any moment. Could Jack find and trigger the remaining mechanisms under the attack of the Terracotta warriors? Could Mia maintain the power of the unicorn's illusory image to buy more time for Jack? And could Gryphon, the little Gryphon, and the unicorn's illusory image withstand the attack of the Terracotta warriors? The situation was intensifying steadily, and a heavy sense of suspense hung over the entire underground palace. Well, dear friends, that's where we'll conclude today's installment of the story. I truly hope you've been as captivated by it as I've been sharing it. If you've enjoyed this narrative so far, I'd be immensely grateful if you could show your support by hitting that like button. And here's a little tip for you to never miss out on the upcoming exciting chapters. Simply activate the subscription bell. In this way, you'll be promptly notified when I bring you the rest of this enthralling story tomorrow. So, stay tuned.